one player that is coming back this week, that is coming back as presently as now. We're recording on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen,
3 hours.
She herself is back. It is Cam Brink that is back into the lineup for the LA Sparks. 13 months from an ACL injury, and she has returned to the WNBA, to the floor, and will be playing for LA tonight. Now, I want to keep this somewhat topical while also understanding that the Sparks will have played by the time people hear this, and people that watch this after more games might have kind of continued to go. But I think past whatever we get in the first 1 or 2 games, because there's going to be limited minutes and a ramp up to what we get here. But with the Sparks playing as well as they have, winners of 5 straight, 6 of their last 7 have been wins. They're in the playoff race, outside looking in, but they're in the mix now. This is what we've been talking about all year long, Tyler, is once a Cam Brink comes back, you have the defensive presence in the center that you have not had this entire season, and you let Azurá Stevens play a pure 4, play at 3 levels, and with her height, she gets some help, and someone's directing traffic back there. How big is this? Or am I overreacting to the idea that this might not turn the Sparks into a finals contender overnight, but like playoffs are a real shot here now that they've had the streak and Cam is back in the lineup for them?
Yeah, I don't think it's an overreaction because, I mean, they are playing the best basketball they've probably played this entire season in the current stretch that they're in. But also, as you mentioned, like every weakness, like major weakness that the Sparks have, Cameron Brink theoretically fills. You know, like in rebounding, rim protection, all those things. That's Cam Brink. Like it's just been on the back burner, you know. And so I think in terms of like the playoff push, I definitely like you're aiming for a first round exit. You know, if you're the Spark, like that's still the ceiling here to me. So that doesn't change. I mean, I've obviously haven't been the highest on the Sparks and the moves that they made, you know, but like that's still the ceiling. But if you are going to win now, like they're trying to, like this is like that is like, you want to be in the playoffs. Like not being in the playoffs would feel really bad this season. And just from even from more of a long-term perspective, if you can tie in the moment, like where it's like, okay, the Sparks became a playoff team to when Cam Brink came back, you're probably feeling really good about where you go from next year, the year after that, that, especially with the way Rickea Jackson has been playing. And like De'Arca Hamby has been awesome, Azurá Stevens has been awesome, but especially that Liberty game with Rickea, like in terms of like goodness, you could just see the potential in a very unique space in the W where there's not a whole lot of like dominant threes in the W. You have a whole lot of 4s that are phenomenal. You have like there's not many 3s. You see them usually get slotted into more of a 2 or a 4. And so to see Rickea on a team that allows her to go and be a true small forward is a very unique thing in the WNBA. And Cameron Brink only helps that by just adding more size and allowing her to not have to shift down into that 4 position, whether that means Azurá Stevens being on the floor with Cam Brink and being able to play the 4 and be able to continue to stretch the floor. I'm very intrigued, both in the usage of Cam Brink, just in terms of lineup. So obviously a whole new coaching staff since last year when we last saw her, but also like this is a really unique recovery timetable for Cam and the length of time that it took. And like that, this is not really the norm anymore of like, and you think of like ACLs and things like that. So I'm interested just in general to see if this becomes, you know, like whether it helps and she just kind of hits the ground running, maybe a little bit more than someone who spent, I don't know, 8 months, you know, recovering from an ACL. Like I'm very interested just in like, obviously it's injuries are always case by case and individual, but I am interested if there's any level of like standard that can be kind of set here from Cameron Brink and the way that this injury recovery was handled. And again, everything's case by case, but I'm just excited to see her back on the court and again, perfect timing to get her back if you're the Sparks and you are trying to make that playoff push.
Yeah, I think I kind of love the time that she's coming back, right? Because Cam played like a substantial part of her rookie season and was excellent, to be clear.
Really good.
Excellent. Was an instant like, oh, I see all defense written on, like no doubt about it. Like I that's already incredibly clear that she's one of the best defenders in the league, right? And throwing back to like her college days, right? Also was a great defender, but was known for the foul trouble, right? Like as much as everything else, it was like, but can we get you to like stay on the court and play X amount of minutes, right? And like actually get in the flow offensively because you're not in foul trouble.
I was gonna say that was the one thing, Greer, that I wanted to ask you, because the fouls were a legit problem last year, and I mean it's followed her entire career. Is there a concern that this is fool's gold? Like, there's potential, but can she stay on the floor for more than 20-25 minutes a game because of the foul issue?
Well, I'm curious if like the 13 months out, like has the game slowed down for her, right? Like oftentimes that is what you see with players just going from year 1 to year 2 anyway. But she's also really had like the vantage point of being on the bench, hearing what Lynn Roberts and this new staff wants to do. They score a ton of points, right? So just the fact that like they're going to be going up and down so much, that lets you know that like there aren't, I feel like where Cam fouled a lot was in the half court, less so like in transition. And now they get a ton of transition looks with Kelsey Plum at the helm. So I just think maybe this style of play is going to be better for Cam too long term. Because you got to remember, like Kelsey Plum is writing checks for the Sparks front court that she has no clue if they're going to cash or not, right? Like before the season even begins. But then also, like, you got to remember that Lynn Roberts has been watching Cameron Brink for 4 years because she coached at Utah over Cam's entire career. So she's scouted her probably more than any other player during her tenure at Utah. So I think she's also acutely aware of like what Cam's strengths are and what her weaknesses are. So I actually just really like the combination of things. And then like being able to truly like rotate De'Erica, Azare, Cam, like as an opposing, you don't know what's coming next. I like that like unpredictability of like they just have a ton of size, super long, like lanky players, right? And they can all guard. They can all guard, and they can also all heat up. De'Erica's coming off a Western Conference Player of the Week.
She's been great. Like Rakia kind of stole the show, like in the headline, but like Hamby has been really good. And Azare has been really good this entire season. I know for me, I just can't wait to see, like, as you kind of mentioned the pace and everything. This is easily going to be the most freedom that Cameron Brink has ever had on a basketball court since we have been able to see her play.
That's so true.
There ain't no freedom at Stanford. I promise you that. Ain't no freedom in that system. And so, like, just in terms of, like we saw, like, the three-pointer kind of come alive a little bit last year. I'm not expecting her to be some, like, knockdown shooter or anything. But the idea of Cameron Brink, like, developing the mid-range, developing, like, just different aspects to her game that, frankly, just might not have even really been explored or, like, you know, like, at least given the time to, like, go and make the mistakes, go and miss the shots. Like, I don't feel like we've ever really seen her with the full opportunity. I think we got it a little bit last year, right? Like, again, but then obviously you have the injury and everything. So we didn't kind of get, like, the full kind of, like, fruition of that. And then you don't get the offseason to develop because you're rehabbing in that way. Like, I'm very, to me, more than anything, I'm looking at the flashes of that we see from Brink with Lynn Roberts this season. Like, that is what, like, if you make the playoffs, that's great. Like, if she comes in and is immediate impact, that's great. Like, that's all cherries on top for me. I just want to see, what does Cam Brink look like in a fast-paced, free system? Because to me, like, in the way I'm picturing it, when she's back, like, and fully going, her running the floor, her being able to help space the floor, there's a lot to be excited about and on the offensive end, and we know what she provides on the defensive end. So I'm moved. Like, I really, like, as much shit I've given the Sparks about, like, the trade that they made and everything, and, like, the kind of differing timelines, the idea of Cam Brink in a Lynn Roberts system is very exciting, and what that could, like, potentially develop into. So I'm open-minded and excited about what this looks like in a vacuum.
Yeah, they got to kind of make something shake too, because they don't own their lottery pick, right? They traded that to Seattle. Individual trade, right? So they kind of have to make something shake. And also, I'm blanking. I totally forgot my second point. But yeah, that's a big piece of this. Is like,
believe me, that's the part I know.
Right. My last point is that what I said in the chat earlier is that also, speaking of Kelsey Plum writing checks, and I want dogs, not wool, or I want wolves, not dogs, and all of that, right? Like,
you're going
it's setting up, right? Cam is coming back tonight against the Aces, but also it's setting up that, Golden State has obviously taken, this, they've been on the road, they've been playing terribly pretty much, and they've been losing. So like they may have run out of gas, right? And Caleb Thornton's out. Washington is also, we don't know what's happening with them right now. They're kind of hitting the wall also. So the Sparks and the Aces are maybe 2.5 games, something like that.
One and a half according to the standings right now.
Okay, so like again, if we talk about cinema and chaos and wanting it and manifesting
script writers
at No Cap, I need that September 11th end of regular season game to mean something for that matchup.
It'll mean something to me, if nothing else.
Kelsey Plum being the one to potentially knock the Aces out of the playoffs is insane watt padding, bro. Like that.
Sweet.
That's going to be something. I will say this. The highest ceiling, and I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment or prisoner to hyperbole, but we're in the take business. So
Let's do it. Run it.
Cam Brink's ceiling in a Lynn Roberts system, to answer your question, Tyler, is if you combined Azare with Lissapilli. Because
I can see the vision here. I can.
Yeah, because if you watch Lissapilli at Utah, she was a movable center in that she could space the floor at all three levels. They routinely would kind of kick her in motions or pick and pops at the top of the key for those 3-pointers. Everyone's like, holy shit, she can shoot too. And then inside on the interior, they were more than happy to utilize her in the paint. Peely is known for having incredible footwork for a big. Cam has underrated post footwork. And I think that's something that really went under the radar last year. When you saw her play that more traditional back to basket role, dude, that footwork and athleticism is there, So you take that, and then you take the natural defensive mindset and instinct that she has, which I think is obviously the great differentiator for her in this league, is that her ceiling as someone that just understands defensive position intuitively is something that I think is only going to get better as she goes. But it's basically take a Lissapilli and make her 6'4", because Azare might not be the same player defensively, but a lot of what Azare does for them offensively, I can see Cam doing the same thing.
That's
that to me is the crazy thing, because Azare's got an MIP case this year. I've been on that train. I've been saying it from jump. Like, she, to me, is the most improved player front runner right now with Kayla Thornton out due to the season-ending injury. And if you look at all the numbers and you look at how she plays and some of her top-end games, like, she's put up like 25 and 12s this season. Like, it's actually ridiculous. So we've never really gotten the ability to see Cam Brink as scorer really at any point in her career. It's always been treated as, kind of like Angel in a way, where it's like, play defense, get rebounds, and if like you get some baskets, like you get it. And what we're seeing in Chicago right now is they're trying to bring the offense in. I think Cam's floor as an offensive talent is higher already, and so the move into making her a complete player in this system feels like it's going to be a lot easier. It just depends on what the ramp up looks like. And I don't know. If this goes the way it is supposed to go and the way we think it could go, I love this Sparks team. I'm so sorry, Tyler.
You really do. You really do.
I love the team, bro. I'm so sorry.
And I can kind of get it.
So good.
If I just didn't know about the number 2 overall pick, if I didn't know about the lottery picks, I could look at this roster and I can see, I could be excited about it. But knowing what it took to get here, to be fighting for the playoffs, oh, it hurts my heart. It hurts my heart seeing that given up. But
realistically speaking, outside of KP Hero Ball, which you are liable to get from time to time, that's just baked in. Dog, KP is playing at an all WNBA level right now.
No, she is.
She's 20 points a game.
Career high in assists, right? Gotta be.
I don't know, but I believe it. Like
career high.
That certainly sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me pull this because I did a video. You can see it on our channel about who's in contention for first team all WNBA. But let me pull the KP stats real quick while I have everybody here. It is 20.1 points per game, 3.2 rebounds, 5.9 assists per game. That's career highs in rebound. It's 0.1 points per game off a career high in points, career high in rebounds per game, career high in assists per game, career high in steals per game. And I think that's about it in terms of career highs. She's kind of right in the middle of where she typically shoots. So, but yeah,
I'd rather have Wolves.
Hey, but again, this is a player. Kelsey Plum is the 2017.
Yeah, number 1 overall pick.
Okay, so I'm saying to reinvent your game at this stage of your career. I mean, not really reinvent. Maybe that's not the right word for her specifically, but like to add to your game in this way. And
I mean, she essentially changed positions.
Come on now,
you changed positions. Like it's not as much as like adding to the game as much as it is like just like the responsibility is completely different now. And to be able to, I've been really impressed, honestly, by it. Like I one of my big worries about going into this, like with the whole roster construction, was if like we had seen KP play point guard in Vegas to a point, like certainly like we had seen that, but like it was never like you are the point guard. Like that was
never felt like a reliable
exactly right. And so to see the balance that she's been able to strike between, because you want KP to go and be a hero. So that's what she does. Like you don't want that to just go away. That's not what you're asking for. It's about finding the balance. And like to see how well that she struck that in just one season, that's easily the most impressive thing to me. And the stats back it up, but like just like visually seeing it and like where she's not just skipping on the court every time, and it's not KP time all the time, and to see that like that in the sense of like adding to her game, that's what it is for me, is like just truly like almost the decision of like, okay, I'm gonna get mine versus okay, we can distribute. And I know it's not like an active thing where she's thinking, oh, it's my turn, but just the natural kind of instinct of that has been really impressive to see as she guys kind of gone full-time point guard in that way.
Interesting statistic that might be apropos of nothing, but the numbers kind of seem too drastic to ignore. Sarah Ashley Barker was kind of like a starter sixth woman when the season started. Yeah. She has not played more than 10 minutes in a game, including 2 DMP coaches' decisions this July. They are 6-2 this July, with Barker taking that substantial step back. And I don't know if that matters, but it's really interesting that this is a player that at one point was playing 25 plus minutes a game for this team as a rookie. And earlier in the year, there was some dust up that, someone who claimed they were Rickea Jackson's friend went on social media and did a whole screed against Lynn Roberts for this perceived starting right. Oh my God. But this perceived starting of Barker over Rickea. And I don't know. I've been thinking about that recently just because of how drastic the minutes reduction has been, directly coinciding with wins and the Sparks looking better. Although it is the Sun, Mystics, and
right? They took her fourth last year. So, you know what I mean? She was a lottery pick, and Barker was taken 9th, I believe.
Yeah.
Overall, right? And not only that, they also signed Julie Alleman. They also signed Julie Van Loo, right? They got both of the Julies on their teams who, yes, Van Loo is a second-year player in the WNBA, but she's a very, very experienced professional basketball player. So much so, she brought her shit to the arena on the road. I'm ready.
Come on now.
Check me in. I'm ready to
She was waiting outside with me.
And then Alman, who's played in this league for a very, very long time. So they got experience where it matters, right? In the free agent market. And Barker, you had your moments in the sun, certainly, but it is hard to adjust to this league. And do we see a number of players who seem to like get it from day one. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like the cream of the crop, but like this is still the pros and this is not college. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm sure she'll get opportunities again. But yeah, 6-2, like you just cannot argue with the results if you're the Sparks and their organization and their front office and like what the plan and goal was all along.
Especially when the 2 losses are Minnesota and a fully healthy New York. Like I think that also matters in the calculus too here is that, you know, those are not 2 slouch losses. It's literally the 2 best players or 2 best teams in the league.